he retired. He announced his retirement a couple weeks ago. But before he announced his retirement, he basically announced his retirement by his video release. So you know he was married to Kelsey Plum, the basketball player, right, from the Las Vegas Aces.
Right.
And then they divorced. He has a video. I suggest if you watch it, just watch it once. It is one of the worst.
It makes me want to pull it up.
Oh my God! Like we would get so many strikes by doing it. I would love for Director Dave to be able to play this video in simultation with this, but I don't want to get the strikes right now from doing it. But I just ask you to go if you've not seen this Darren Waller video.
Is it cringeworthy?
Oh, it's worse than cringeworthy, Bobby.
Really?
It is worse.
Oh, I have to watch this.
Oh my gosh, it is the worst thing I think I had ever witnessed as far as from a musical standpoint. Like, friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome back to this episode of Bets and Buds. We're the Buds helping you cash your bets. I'm Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to these dog days of summer. Now we're here in sports here in this dry time in sports. Thank God we got the Olympics this summer. So you know what? The NHL playoffs have just ended.
Have you even heard anything about the Olympics?
Oh, yeah, actually, it's been a little bit of news there. We actually just had the swim time trials they just had up in Minneapolis
I totally forgot about
a couple weeks ago. Katie Ledecky's still kicking ass. You know, you got there's a lot of big hope for the U.S. swim team. They're saying it's actually one of the best U.S. teams in a while. That 16-year-old kid,
really?
They almost qualified, just barely missed a qualified for 400 meters.
I did see there was an English swimmer talking about talking on the U.S. how they didn't want to hear the gold medal ceremony.
Oh, they're going to be hearing a lot of it because England's not winning shit.
No, definitely not swimming.
Australia, I worry about. England, you keep your ass over there in the English Channel. Shit, I'm not worried about your ass. So we had the Florida Panthers. Congrats,
yes, Matthew Tkachuk.
St. Louis boy, matches boy. Jason Tatum, another St. Louis kid, both getting their first championships.
Chaminade.
The pride of Chaminade. Both getting their first championships there, so shout out to them. Got, what's his name? Connor McDavid actually became the first Conn Smythe winner.
Since John, whatever, it was the Anaheim goalie was the last one. Yeah,
it was the last one to win
Giguere, I think
John Giguere. Yeah, to win the Conn Smythe without actually winning the Stanley Cup. But, so great postseason for him. Just came up a little bit short.
The Edmonton had the top 4 scorers in the playoffs.
This is amazing. I mean, they just couldn't really put enough defense. They really just couldn't get enough scoring that last stretch.
Yeah, they ran out of gas. You could tell, like, in that last gas, 8-10 minutes of the game.
Probably the biggest one was Draisaitl. I mean, he's probably the one that probably ran out the most gas and shrank the most, like when they really needed him.
So McDavid had 42 points in 25 games, 8 goals, 34 assists. So
that was the Gretzky numbers there, man.
It was crazy. He set the record for assists in a postseason.
Yeah,
so.
I mean that was amazing. I mean, when you start getting a conversation with Wayne Gretzky, I mean you're doing something.
So yeah, Edmonton went 15-10 over the playoffs. I mean, they just come up a little bit short.
I mean, they did everything in their power to get back in it to take it to a game 7. So I mean, that's going to happen.
So yeah, you had McDavid as the top point getter, 42, and then it was Bouchard, their defenseman Bouchard, and then Draisaitl, and then you had Heyman, and you didn't get to a Florida guy until number 5.
Oh yeah, but that was Florida. Part of the reason why they won.
Yep,
very balanced team.
Barkov and Tkachuk actually tied for 22 points.
Yeah, I mean,
for Florida.
They were just a very balanced team. They really were. I mean, they really were.
Bobrovsky came up big.
Bobrovsky came up big in the game 7, which he needed. That's why I think they said that they didn't even have him on the ice. Got him away from the game after that game 6.
Okay.
So I think that probably helped refresh him, get his mind right, ready to go. Remembered who he was, and send him home.
So you've got the draft coming up. I think it's this weekend. Draft is this weekend, NHL draft. Celebrini's going to be the number 1 pick. After that, like in hockey, I'd never heard of half of these people,
most of these guys. I mean, we'll see.
And then you've got starting on Sunday the 1st. The 1st of July is the opening of free agency, so we're gonna get some movement right off the bat.
Well, speaking of movement, there was a big trade in the NBA today. We had Michael Bridges actually went from the Brooklyn Nets to the New York Knicks. We call them the baby Villanova Wildcats. Reunion of the Villanova Wildcats in 2016 National Championship.
No, I did not hear that.
So now you got 4 guys on that team from that Villanova squad that won a national championship playing with the Knicks now. So you got Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, what's his name, Brunson, Jalen Brunson, and then you have now Mikal Bridges there. So you got
they're bringing the national championship team.
Yeah, the Villanova boys are coming up there to New York, and a lot of people are excited about it. So that's a big trade and a big move.
That is a big trade.
Yeah, that is a big trade and a big move. And speaking of drafts, we got the NBA draft is tonight.
Is that tonight?
Yes, the NBA draft is tonight. Once upon a time, this actually used to be a really, really, really big deal. And
I remember watching drafts back when I was
we used to watch draft because we knew the players.
Right.
At that time, when you knew back in the day, especially when we were younger, like our middle school to high school days, when you had Anthony Hardaway coming out, Chris Webber, and all these guys were in the same draft. I mean, even like an Allen Iverson when he went number one. You knew who the players were because you got to watch at least 2 years at least of them
playing
in college. I mean, now these guys are coming out of the G League. They're foreign guys.
Everywhere.
Yeah. You transfer portal left and right. Coming out of the coming out of from foreign European leagues and stuff because these guys can turn pro at like 14, 15.
So who is going to be the number one?
All right, so I actually put together a little top 10 of just of what the projection of what it's supposed to be tonight. So what they're kind of looking at. This is minus some trades because that's the one thing with the NBA draft.
They do have a tendency to swap picks.
Swap picks. They will draft guys for other teams. So this is just basically who's out there to maybe introduce some of you guys. We're not a big NBA town, but hey, we got nothing but baseball besides this anyway. So
we got nothing.
So right now, the Atlanta Hawks have the number one pick. It's either going to be between Alex Sarr, who's the power forward / center from France.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell France has got going on over there, but they got about 3 guys that got projected to be in the lottery this year.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm just going to deal with the top 10. So Alex Sarr is projected number 1. If it's not him, then we got Donovan Klingon, which was from UConn, the big center from Leon, a big center from UConn. And so then that's with the Spurs. The Wizards have the number 2 pick. But there has been a lot of chatter talking about the Spurs actually moving up to get to the number 2 pick because they actually want to go back and do the Twin Towers thing like they did with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Yeah, so now they'll match him up with Wembanyama.
Okay.
So depending on what the Spurs do, right now the Wizards sit at number 2, but I mean right now they'll move some pieces because they're not doing anything or going anywhere fast right now. So then the Rockets had the 3rd pick. They're also somebody that was really heavy in on the trade chatter. This guy, he's another forward, Zachary Risset. I don't know how to say something. I don't know. You'll learn his name here soon enough if he
another
does
one
anything.
Out of France, huh?
Yeah, another guy out of France.
Okay.
Yeah, another guy out of France. All right, so then we had the number 4 pick was the Spurs. Well, like I said again, if they stay pat there. That was Stephen Castle. Stephen Castle out of UConn, the guard, the point guard out of UConn. Yeah, so that national championship team having 2 guys to go in the lottery here. Then we got the Pistons. Matas Bazelis. He's a G League guy. Yeah, he's a G League guy. Another forward.
Okay.
Going through most of these guys. And when you go like nowadays, when you bring up positions in the NBA, it really doesn't matter because it's like such positionless basketball. Outside of your point guard, everybody can shoot. I mean, your centers are taking threes now. Everybody moves. I mean, there's just a lot of movement, interchanging parts there.
Which one is that guy from France? Is that 7'8" guy that's like? Like they just jump it in. He just
that's the kid you're talking about. That kid's 16 years old.
Oh,
that kid. Okay. That kid's. I think he's Canadian, but he goes to the IMG Academy.
Man, I seen some videos.
He's like 7'9". He barely jumps. We'll see. He right now at this stage, he looks like he lacks a lot of athleticism. Right. Hopefully, he goes to college and plays some years, get some footwork because right now against high school kids, he's just going to be dominant.
He's going to dominate.
But with the NBA, they'll break him in half.
That's just a kid.
Yeah, he's just a kid right now. So then we got Reed Shepherd out of Kentucky, shooting guard, possibly going to the Hornets at number 6. Then number 7 with the it's the Spurs the Trailblazers have this pick, and they're actually projecting him to get Cody Williams, a forward out of Colorado. He's actually one of your rare 3-year. I think he was a 3-year starter there up there in Colorado. And then we got another Nikola out of Serbia, not Jokic, but Topic. Nikola Topic. And so that's where the one that is projected to go to the Spurs. He's a guard, 18-year-old. Actually coming off an ACL tear, but they say he's a really explosive guard, though, really great jump shot. So we'll see how that pans out. They said coming off of that injury, but they'll have time to kind of nurse him back into play there. And then we got the Grizzlies at number 9 with Ron Hilliard, another G League player. So there's 2 guys out of G League. That's what you're seeing also, too. A lot of these guys skipping going to college, going straight to the G League, making some checks, get under pro coaching. and then just be able to play basketball all year round. Right. That's where some of these foreign kids are getting so far ahead
because they can play.
Because they're going to these academies, getting a tutor, doing school for a couple hours, and then they're spending 6 to 8 hours a day on basketball once they know that these kids are going to be nice like that. And so we have a lot of rules against that, prohibiting that here in the United States. So then we got the Jazz that's going to round up the top 10 with Dalton Neck, a 23-year-old. He was a wing out of Tennessee. So another one of the older players that you'll see. Because a lot of times, usually with most guys, 22, 23, that's a little long in the tooth for you being a draft pick of the NBA. They expect these guys 18 to 20.
No, they want them young.
Yeah, they want them young, 18 to 20, man. So, yeah, but that's the top 10 we got right now. Okay. Nobody really knows any of these names. Hopefully, you'll learn a few of them as they progress along and you'll develop their career. But since we were talking about the NHL draft, I figured we cover and do a little bit of NBA draft there because that is tonight. That it will air here. So,
all right, I like it.
Yeah, so we'll see what goes on there. So the next up, we got our Redbirds here.
Yeah, it is. Right now, it's currently going into the bottom of the ninth. We're down 6-2.
It's down 6-2. So they got the last 3 outs, get 4 runs, come from behind here. So we'll see what happens. But barring that, if they do lose this one, I guess they'll be 6-4 out of their last 10 games.
Yep, 40-38, 2 games over 500. They're still in that second wild card spot, though.
Right.
So.
And they got another because we got rained out yesterday, so they got another game tonight. So maybe if they lose this one, they can pick that one up and get back up 3 games over 500 again.
So yeah, they put together a nice little win streak there. It really hurts that you lost those 2 walk-off games to the Marlins.
Yeah, it really does.
One of the worst teams in baseball.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, they could be 5 games over right now, and they'd be a little bit closer probably to that the Brewers in that first place position.
It was good to see Contreras come back.
Yes.
It was really got a knock, RBI in his first game back. Yes. I don't believe he was playing today. I think they gave him the day off.
They gave him the day off. Probably played the game tonight, more than likely. Yeah, more than likely they'll probably play.
No, actually they did start him.
Oh, did he start him today?
Yeah, they started him
today. Okay, nice. All right, then we got Arenado. I think they put him back in the lineup,
back in the lineup today, and Goldschmidt. So looks like we're finally getting healthy.
Okay, getting healthy, except for Tommy Edman.
Yeah, Tommy Edman.
Has suffered another setback, this time with an ankle injury.
Yeah.
In a rehab start, so... Yeah, we'll see with Tommy Edman if we're going to see him at all this year.
Yeah, it could just be one of those lost seasons.
Might be a lost season, or we just maybe see him sometime after the All-Star break is probably what it's looking like. I wouldn't hold my breath to see him before then.
It really hurts because we have a bullpen game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bad thing. We've got a bullpen game tonight because of the split doubleheader. Yeah. So we could easily end up losing these 2 to the Braves.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, they got a big win. They were able to hold on the night before, the 4-3 win. So, for me, one other note I had with the Cardinals here. So, in my opinion, right now, for team MVP, you could probably lump either Mason Wynn or Brendan Donovan. Those are 2 by far the guys that actually straw stirring the drink right now. Mason Wynn's leading the team with batting average at 297. Okay. And then RBIs, Donovan's leading the team with RBIs at 39.
Yeah, I seen he took that back over.
Yeah, he took the lead with RBIs, and he also leads the team in hits, too, as well, with 76 hits. So, those 2 guys are probably the one thing. 2 guys actually have been the real bright spots of the team.
They really have, and like I said, I always bring them up every week just because I like a left-handed power bat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But Burleson, he is really picking it up.
Oh yeah, Burleson's look nice, and I mean Gorman's leading the team in home runs with 16 right now. But he also leads the team with 100 strikeouts.
Right,
too.
right. Well, Burleson's defense is a little, but I mean that just comes with reps.
Yeah, I mean he's one of those guys. I mean really, he's a DH.
Right.
I mean quite honestly, he's not. Especially because of where they got him playing in the outfield. I mean,
he's like our version of Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. Exactly. Just taller.
Yeah.
Just taller. Yeah, so that's about we got all we got for the Cards, I think, really. So,
we've got I think the All-Star break's coming up shortly. We were talking about potential Cardinal All-Stars.
Yeah, I know.
What we forgot to mention last time, it's Helsley. Helsley leads the Major League Baseball in saves right now.
Yeah, he would more than likely
probably be.
Even if he doesn't get voted in, he'd probably be a manager's pick.
Right.
Because usually a lot of times the managers are actually the people that round up the bullpen most of the time, so.
It'd be Wynn or Helsley, one of those 2. It's going to be your All-Star.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't really see them getting more than 2 guys in the All-Star game this year. Middling baseball team.
Arenado doesn't deserve to be there.
No, neither does Goldschmidt either. So. And Nolan Gorman, I mean, that might be a managerial pick just because of his power and the pop of the bat with the 16 home runs.
Right.
But again, the 100 strikeouts is kind of he's a lot of a sink or swim player for the most part. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, we got a long way to go. So what is it? where we at 78 games.
So yes, we are at 7. Not even halfway.
Not even at the halfway mark. Goddamn, the season's so long.
It's gonna be a long one.
So long.
So I talked about we did quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers so far. I've got tight ends today.
All right.
And this is the top 15 tight ends according to ESPN
for fantasy football.
For fantasy football,
the season is coming, baby.
This one, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with the season he put together last year, but they have Laporta as the number 1 tight end.
I can see that, especially with that offense, the quarterback combination. I can see him being number 1. Travis Kelce's getting a little long to 2.
He is.
You know, you got Mark Andrews coming off an injury, and also Isaiah Likely.
But they're still 2 and 3, right?
Yeah.
Kelce, Andrews, that's your 2 and 3.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the one that really surprised me. McBride. They've got him as high as 4.
That kid was good, man. He
had an 81 catch season.
Yeah, he was impressive last year. I mean, the couple games that I watched because they kicked the Cowboys' ass early in the season.
Yes, they did.
And I mean, that kid. I mean, because he's a Stanford kid too. I think
he was.
Yeah, I mean, so he's solid. He's a solid player.
So they've got McBride at 4, Evan Ingram at 5. Okay. Now this guy led all tight ends in targets last year.
Yeah, I mean he was nice, and they lost some weapons. They lost Calvin Ridley.
So yeah, they'll be throwing to him.
Yeah,
he caught 116 balls.
Oh yeah, I mean they're gonna go. And he's a great red zone target too.
Yes,
great red zone target.
So Evan Ingram there at 5. You got Kincaid at 6. Dalton Kincaid at 6, and I can see this one because Buffalo's lost some pass catching ability with
you don't have
Gabe Davis being gone and Diggs being gone.
You don't have to worry about and Josh Allen doesn't have to worry about keeping Stephon Diggs happy with targets now. He can just spread the ball around. It's gonna flow the game.
So Kincaid at 6. Kittle at 7.
Okay.
Now he's actually fallen off. Like when you could actually see the correlation with McCaffrey coming to the Niners and his production.
That's the touchdowns being lost.
Yeah, he's still a solid tight end. I had him last year and won the league with him.
Yeah, he's a solid tight end. He just lost a lot of touchdowns to McCaffrey because McCaffrey is just a touchdown machine.
Coming in at 8 is Njoku.
Okay.
Like once he burnt his face off last year, he really turned in a nice season.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, he's been coming along the last couple of years because he got that contract I think about 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And he's just slowly but surely becoming what they've expected when they drafted him.
I've drafted him a couple of times.
Oh yeah, he's been a disappointment. But again, that's also the Browns with their quarterback carousel and everything else. I mean, Joe Flacco was actually probably really good for his stats too. That once he got back, I think if we did a breakdown to see what he did after Flacco
got there,
I mean that probably really was an uptick on his numbers.
No, you're not wrong because he really had a late season surge.
Yeah.
Like 11, 12, 13 targets a game.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, Flacco. I mean, he's going to get that ball out of his hand. He's got a strong arm. And he's a Super Bowl winning veteran, so I mean he knows how to get it done.
So at 9 we've got Pitts for Atlanta. I got this one.
I can see it being a breakout.
Yeah, because they did. I think Jonnu had such a great season last year.
Oh yeah,
playing out of the tight end position. I just maybe Pitts is just a wide receiver. Pitts is just a wide receiver.
No, what it was he had no quarterback. Like even like with Artie Smith, everybody's gonna remember now. Like he did a great job with the Titans as offensive coordinator, and he's gonna do a great job with Pittsburgh as offensive coordinator. He's a great offensive mind. They had no quarterback. They had Desmond Ridder, who's I think out of the NFL right now.
Right.
And who was the other guy they played between?
They had Mariota in there for a minute.
Yeah, they had Mariota. Who he's up there in Washington. I think was it Washington? I think now that he's supposed to. Yeah, I think he might be. Yeah, he's up in Washington now with the Commanders. So. I mean, they really had nothing at the quarterback position, really at all. So, as far as I think with now that you got Kirk Cousins and you got Michael Penix up there, he's actually got somebody that legitimately can get him the ball.
So Pitts comes in at 9.
Okay.
Ferguson, Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Ferguson at number 10.
I can see that. That's about right.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that's about right.
Goddard comes in at 11.
Okay.
I actually think he could have an uptick again back into the top 10 this year.
Yeah, let's see if Jalen Hurts gets a bounce back season. Right. That's going to be probably the biggest question mark with that.
You got Hawkinson coming in at 12. Like he's coming off that injury, so we really don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get. Plus also the quarterback position. Because you got Sam Darnold and then J.J. McCarthy. Right. So, and I know they're going to be starting the season with Darnold behind the helm.
So this one could be this year's Laporta. Bowers, actually.
Okay.
Comes in at 13.
Yeah, the only thing is the quarterback position again.
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing. Because you got Gardner Minshew.
Down there.
That's pretty much where you're at there. So, yeah. But, I mean, Bowers isn't... especially it's going to be interesting to see how they run an offense because they drafted Michael Mayer a couple of years ago, too, out of Notre Dame. So,
yeah, and he actually put together a decent season last year.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So it's going to be interesting to see. That's why it was such a surprise pick when they took Bowers that high. But, again, it's the Raiders. I mean, sometimes they they'll draft for quality over need. So.
This one I do not agree with at all. Freiermuth at 14. With Wilson up in Pittsburgh now, Freiermuth's production is going to take a drastic hit.
Because
Wilson doesn't throw to the tight end.
He does not throw to the tight end. He does not. Like I said, maybe let's see what happened with Artie Smith magic he can do right there, because he did revive Ryan Tannehill.
He did.
Yeah,
You're right.
So let's see what he does. I mean, Russell Wilson was a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill, so let's see what happens there. But yeah, I agree with you.
So to round out your top 15, since we play in a 14-team league, like every one of these guys will end up on somebody's team. We've got Dalton Schultz, and I actually think he could end up cracking the top.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not a little bit. Well, the only reason why he probably doesn't get it up a little higher is because how many miles are
going to
feed. A lot of miles of feet up there, man.
But as far as tight ends go, I mean, if you get Schultz as your tight end, you're not going to be hurt.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, that's somebody you can depend on, at least, like say, especially getting in the red zone. He's a good target there. So, I mean, tight end position definitely has a lot more depth than what it has in the previous, 3 to 4 seasons. So,
just outside the 15, he came in at 16, and I think he ended up having a really good season last year too. Was Cole Kmet.
Okay.
So, and like if you're getting him as your backup tight end,
right. Especially we'll see what type of
to see what kind of offense the Bears are going to run up there
with Caleb Williams, and just kind of see how it goes from there. How Keenan Allen acclimates. We know we're going to get out of DJ Moore again. It's just going to be how that offense is going to flow through the rookie quarterback.
I was really surprised. Like a tight end position's coming back on a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean you definitely have more depth than what you have in previous seasons.
For sure. I mean, like it was. Even 3 or 4 years ago, if you weren't getting one of the top 5 guys, you're like, I'm not even bothering drafting a tight end.
And let's not I will mention him because I drafted him the last 2 seasons. Darren Waller in his retirement, you know what, and that goodbye video that he did with his with his wife Kelsey Plum. Did you see that?
I did not. I didn't even know he retired.
Oh yeah, he retired. He announced his retirement a couple weeks ago. But before he announced his retirement, he basically announced his retirement by his video release. So he was married to Kelsey Plum, the basketball player, right, from the Las Vegas Aces,
right?
And then they divorced. He has a video. I suggest if you watch it, just watch it once. It is one of the worst.
It makes me want to pull it up.
Oh my God! Like we would get so many strikes by doing it. I would love for Director Dave to be able to play this video in simultation with this, but I don't want to get the strikes right now from doing it. But I just ask you to go, if you've not seen this Darren Waller video.
Is it cringeworthy?
Oh, it's worse than cringeworthy, Bobby.
Really?
It is worse.
Oh, I have to watch this.
Oh my gosh, it is the worst thing I think I had ever witnessed as far as from a musical standpoint. Like, athletes, please stop. You're not musicians.
I don't know. Did you hear that rap for the actress for The Acolyte? Like dissing Star Wars fans? That one's pretty bad.
Bobby, watch this.
Okay,
video.
I'll watch it.
You gotta work really hard to sound bad with auto tune. Like it's in auto. It's like a Drake song. Oh no, Future. It's like a Future song, but with no talent at all. I mean, like you sound bad with auto tune. I mean, it is absolutely horrible. Okay,
I gotta go watch it.
It's you just have to. I'm not even gonna spoil it by giving you any description of what the video is. Just watch the video. It is one of the worst things that I've ever seen in my life from a musical standpoint. And I ask these athletes, guys, remember what you do and what you do best. You cannot be. You practice sports. You work out. These people that are musicians, I know it looks easy, but you spend a long time.
Yeah, working.
These guys spend a long time in studios working on their craft. You go and spend a couple hours just because you have the money to buy studio time. Does not make you an artist and makes you put out songs. I mean, it is terrible.
I've got to watch that.
It is bad. So go ahead, Bobby.
No, I was just gonna say, as long as we're on the NFL right now, early futures, you've got KC coming in at plus 550 to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
San Francisco plus 600.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
So that's your favorites right now.
Yeah,
KC, San Francisco.
So basically, like the 2 teams from there in the Super Bowl last year, they're gonna be back here again. So. All right. Well, thanks again for tuning in this week, everybody. Make sure you go to the comment section and hit the like and subscribe button here. Keep checking us out. We're going to keep this thing rolling because right when we get to football season, it'll be about a year's time of us doing this thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're coming up on a year.
Appreciate you guys. Keep tuning in with us. We're going to keep going on, keep this thing rolling, keep that merch coming for you guys. Shout out to True on the Track for blessing us with those beats. It's been a good ride for us, everybody. Shout out to Director Dave, always keeping us going on the 1s and 2s. I'm Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
And I'll see you next week. Peace.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to go watch that video.
I put a link. Yeah. Oh yeah. Put a link